Okay, so here's the deal. Basically, we are seeing a new barrage of stimulus, exciting news videos coming out where they're talking about these big promises that President Biden is going to be pushing for, that Bernie Sanders is pushing, etc. And the idea of this is that people who are starving, who cannot afford basic food, housing accommodations, which are, of course, are disabled, SSI, SSDI, or retired individuals, they are clicking on this because it is literally the thing they need as the only hopium that they can get about the future of their survival in this country on planet Earth. And so, as a result, this idea that basically there is a future stimulus coming is something that everybody's willing to click on. But I need to be very clear and upfront with you. Specifically, here's an article from AARP. Are Social Security beneficiaries getting a fourth stimulus check? By Andy Markowitz, published February 21st, 2024. So just, pretty recent. The details differ. I'll just read to you a little bit from it so you understand what's going on. The details differ, but the message in some website headlines, videos, and social media posts is more or less the same. There's a fourth stimulus check headed to older Americans. The promised amounts vary from $1,400, $2,000, $2,400, $4,200. The money supposedly was coming in November of 2023, then January of 2024, now February of 2024, future March of 2024. And the bottom line is this: they keep saying you're eligible if you're receiving a Social Security check or you're living in a specific state or blah, blah, blah. And they're basically picking categorically the most poor individuals of each particular state. Now, with that said, just so you understand, here's some of the basics from the article. We paid out all the economic impact payments, the IRS spokesman Anthony Burke says, using the official term for the 3 rounds of federal stimulus payments sent to more than 160 million U.S. taxpayers as part of the COVID-19 relief measures Congress passed in 2020 and 2021. People should go to the irs.gov as the definitive source of information. People who missed a stimulus payment or believe they received less than they should have can still try to claim the money by applying to the IRS for a recovery rebate credit, but there's no fourth stimulus forthcoming. Nearly 3 years after the third and final federal pandemic payment went out, claims that new ones are on the way are due in part to the growth of generative artificial intelligence in creating content, says McKenzie, AI and foreign influence editor for NewsGuard, a company that monitors information in online media. Imminent stimulus checks are a staple of content farms, she says. Supposed news sites that regurgitate dubious information often rely on AI-generated articles with little or no human oversight are basically pumping out these stories about future stimulus. We've seen this claim come up regularly on these websites that you can get a fourth stimulus check. Sadeghi says it's very in line with the type of content that we see from them, which are hoaxes aimed at generating clicks and getting people to the website. Now, here's the thing. There will be, unless there's some cataclysmic event like another COVID, there will be no fourth stimulus. The country can't afford it. We are in the most debt we've ever been in. People used to argue with me that, Trump was this horrible person because he spent a lot of money on investing in America and investing into basically infrastructure that would make America over a period of time make more money. And to be fair, that's what business people do. They spend a lot of money up front with the hopes of making vastly more money down the line. That's how it works. That's what they do. It's in line with who President Trump is, who he has been, how he's made a lot of his money, etc. Walter Scott, thank you for the $4 donation. I super appreciate that. That's awesome. Oh, I see Leanne there. Howdy. Very cool. Howdy. So the basic thing that you have to keep in mind is that, unfortunately, the thing is this. There is no fourth stimulus. There will not be a fourth stimulus. Do not expect a fourth stimulus. If you hear promises of a fourth stimulus coming out of a politician's mouth, don't believe them. They're lying. And the reason why is that we've seen this before all the way up the chain to the commander-in-chief during the last presidential election. I've seen a lot of angry comments from people who saw the videos for the $200 increases. I've seen a lot of people who read the articles on the $200 increases that never came to be. I get it. I totally understand. I just need you to understand there is not going to be a fourth stimulus. Should there be some sort of fourth stimulus? No. There should be an increase across the board that is continuous and repetitive, like a cost of living adjustment where they fix it, they give you all an increase, and then every year it's held to a certain financial mathematical, equation that basically makes it so that people get the fair amount that they need to be able to live in this country going forward. Having a cute little stimulus payment where you get $200 for the year, $200 here, $200 there, useless. You need something that actually increases SSI, SSDI, retirement, widows, DAC, survivors benefits continuously and repetitively each year. If you do not have that, all right, the bottom line, to be fair, is that you will not have something that lasts you in the future. Now, with that said, I do not expect President Trump to come out with stimulus talk. He's just not that person. I do expect President Biden to come out with stimulus talk. He is that person. I do believe that President Biden will not actually put through a vote to increase the benefits. I just don't see that happening. I do see President Biden going ahead and using the rhetoric of how the Republicans are going to destroy the Social Security accounts. Not all of that is incorrect. Some of the Republicans do want to destroy Social Security benefits. That's very true. You're very classic Republicans. You're like, golf coursey type of, old school Republicans, not, which is ironic because we call them rhinos. The rhinos do tend to want to destroy Social Security benefits. It's weird. It's a very weird thing. I don't know what their deal is. The modern age Republicans, or I guess you would call them the Trumpers or whatever, they are obviously not so much on the trail of destroying social. A massive, significant amount of them rely on them. So it's just, but the hardcore, very Christian, very Republicans for the rich, that whole group, that is not pro Social Security benefits. BK Dan, thank you for the $2 donation. Walter Stimulus sign Skynet. Exactly. So point is, I just need you guys to understand over the next couple of months. And I like to put out a video every couple of months on basically the stimulus. There is no current stimulus. There's not going to be a stimulus. President Biden will likely promise that there will be a stimulus, but there won't be. President Trump won't promise that there's a stimulus because they would junk. Imagine that. Just imagine that for a moment. If President Biden promised a stimulus, right, like the $200 increase stuff, people let it go. They'd be like, it didn't work out. I'm going to let it go. But if President Trump promised, and I guess I should say past president, because we have to use the past president or former president for every president now because of Trump, because it's that's just how we word it now. Think about that. Past President Washington, past President Nixon, past President Madison. You would never say that. It's so weird. It's just weird to say that, right? But I guess now we have to say that because of Trump, right? It's just that they have to make sure everybody's understanding. They're like, this was the past guy, not the current one. This is the past one. So the point is, what I'm getting at is that President Trump would never promise a future stimulus because, to be fair, if he could not go ahead and deliver on that promise, massive repercussions for Trump. The Democrats are amazingly, incredibly good at stomping on Republicans like none other when it comes to something they can't deliver on. I mean, they are amazing at it, and they get it to stick. When they rant something and they go rah rah rah, when the Democrats say rah rah rah, they're the people that vote for them, they will take that and they will run with it. Republicans, they don't take the things that the Republican senators reps say and run with it. It's just not the same. So if Trump said, hey, I'm going to promise you this $200 a month increase stimulus for SSI benefits or SSDI benefits, or whatever, and then he didn't deliver because, specifically we rely mostly on the senators and the House reps actually passing it and the president then signing off on it. But if he couldn't deliver, the Democrats would destroy him on that. Absolutely destroy him on that. Anyways, I just wanted you guys to understand what's going on with this so that there's no confusion going forward. It's a short video. I realize that. Next thing is this. We're going to be going over essentially, and it's a big thing, and a lot of people have been asking me about it when they call in, and I've told them all pretty much the same thing. I don't have the time to answer it right now. I'll try and do it in a video. I am doing videos right now because, to be fair, I was cleaning a roof over the weekend when I took Sweetie down to Fort Lauderdale, and I got a bunch of that roof cleaning stuff on my hands. I tried to wash it off, but I don't know if you can see, but my hands, well, you can't really see it on the video, but they're massively, I don't know if you can see it, but they're massively, yeah, you can't see it on there, but they're all shedding a lot of skin. I just haven't been feeling great. So as a result of that, I'm just taking the middle of the day a little bit easier. And then after I do this next video, I'm going to be going back on calls. But the point is, I just want you to understand that there's not going to be a stimulus coming. The only thing you could really push for is a cost of living increase that actually makes sense. That's the best rule you could change. The 2100 rule, no chance of going through right now. I'll do a full video on that, but we'll go from there. Remember, the next video we're going to be doing is essentially, and I understand it's going to be a little bit like saucy when I talk about it. People are going to be like, whoa. But there was an immigrant, an alien, if you will, who basically killed a police officer. And the question now that I'm getting from a lot of people is, will disability, lack of being able to speak the language, lack of mental, capacity, lack of ability to go ahead and comprehend, having analytical skills, will an immigrant be able to use that as a defense to get off of having a murder charge that keeps them in a penal facility, which is, of course, jail or prison? So I will catch you guys at the next video, and that's the last video we're doing. And then later tonight, I'll go live on Facebook and go ahead and answer some questions there if I'm feeling well enough. You got to understand, like, I've got this chemical in me, so I haven't been doing so great the past 2 days. I will catch you guys at the next video. Give me about 5 minutes, and I'll load it up, and we should be ready to go. All right, thanks so much. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.